Hey guys, and welcome back. This is your girl Shay with Plant Essence, and I have something a little bit I've spoken about before, but it's a little bit different. But I wanted to talk about today terrariums. I'm actually going to be putting together a nice begonia terrarium. And if you guys have been following me, you know begonias are like my Achilles tendon. It's just like one of the plant genus that I kind of struggle with, but I do love. And when the begonias are thriving, I get this sense of confidence, and I then go out and buy another begonia. And I'm actually going to put it in a terrarium because I've noticed that when you put begonias in terrariums, they do kind of thrive a bit more than if you just if I keep them out in my elements. You know, there's maybe a couple begonias that are okay outside in my regular humidity, but from my experience, a lot of the begonias need a lot of high humidity, and I'm going to set that up. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So this, I'm going to show you the vessel I'm going to actually put the begonia in. This is something that I purchased last year. I got it from Home Goods, and it was on the clearance section, and it's a really cute like glass, and it has this really rustic kind of like piece of wood, and it sits very gently into that. I don't know how I feel about how loose it is. I may reinforce it with some tape just so I don't accidentally knock it over and break it. But I'm really happy that I snagged this little piece of like art almost. And I got it from Home Goods for $12. I'm actually going to show you. Where's that? This is the tag. It was $12. It was on clearance. So yeah, it was originally 24. But when I looked up on Amazon, this particular one was like priced at like 40, $50. So I think $12 is a good snag for this. But yeah, I'm gonna place the begonia in here. And it's not a closed terrarium, but I actually got some of these acrylic toppers. They're just like little plastic toppers. And I'm just gonna sit it on there to help seal in some of the humidity. It's not ideal because it doesn't match. It's not glass. It's kind of like a little film on it for whatever reason, because it is plastic, but it will help to keep some of the humidity into it. So, all right. So let's kind of dive into some of the things that we need for your terrarium. So you will need a vessel for your if you want to try this at home. You will need some type of container. I've actually made a couple other terrariums, and I got the container like a regular cookie jar or mason jar from IKEA or wherever. You could just practically use anything, but just make sure whatever you get, you're able to easily put your hand into it and reach into it. Some terrariums they have like a small, or some glass containers have a small neck, and it really is really difficult for you to put your hand in or even put the terrarium utensils into it to move things around. I've had a couple terrariums. This is an old terrarium that I've had for about a year or so. There's a hodgepodge of types of plants in here. I think I have calathea in here, fern in here. There's some moss in here, other types of plants in here, and there's actually some springtails in here to actually keep down the mold. And it's grown quite a bit. I don't do anything to it. I just basically keep the lid on and keep it under a grow light, and it creates its own sort of ecosystem, which is wonderful. And it smells great. It smells like earth. So sometimes we're so busy working all day, and we don't get a chance to connect with nature. And terrariums, in my opinion, are one way you can really connect with nature. Just open the lid, smell it, get a whiff of that fresh, clean ecosystem, and then when you're done, you just put the lid back on and put it in its place. And then this is another type of a container I got from IKEA. And this was one of my kind of like my first begonia terrariums. It was doing great last year, and for whatever reason, the begonia started to die out for some reason. It was pretty full, but there's a little bit of residual left. There's a little baby one growing, which is great. I'm not sure if it has anything to do with the isopods that I put into it. And isopods help to keep and they eat the dead leaves, and they keep basically the ecosystem kind of going. It's doing well. It was doing much better last year. I don't know why that begonia died like it did, but it's still living. It's doing okay. But yeah, so yeah, do get a container with a lid, preferably a glass lid, something clear. You can get the terrariums or a container with like a cork or something on top of it that doesn't the light doesn't penetrate through it. But just keep in mind that the better ones is if you have like a glass and it's you can see through it and the light can get through it. That's going to be your better type of terrarium setup than something like that does not have that's completely opaque and you can't see through it. So get something like that, or Amazon does have some really great like vessels you can get, really inexpensive. Like this one here is my pinguicula, the carnivorous plant. You know how I like my carnivorous plants. This is kind of like a terrarium, but it's an open terrarium where I put my pings in there. But these pings are just having so much fun. There's a ping in there. There's quite a few pings in there. It's actually duplicated and it's actually blooming right now. I also have a sundew here, and I also have a Venus flytrap that keeps multiplying traps, which I think is just awesome. So, but yeah, think about what kind of vessel you want to put it into, container you want to put it into, and then kind of start from there. So I'm going to share with you some of the ingredients that you will need for it. So obviously the vessel, and then you're going to need to mix your substrate. So what I have, first of all, I want to put something, it's a drainage layer. So you want to either put like some type of rocks or something like that. Like these are lava rocks. You can also use leca balls. Just make sure they're nice and clean. Make sure you clean all of this stuff outside because you don't want to clog your internal plumbing. But I'm going to actually put this in the bottom, the base of it, so that if there's any water collecting in it and at the bottom, that whatever it is, the substrate can basically absorb that. So it's not like the roots are not just sitting in water, because then, what can happen is you get root rot. So you don't want that. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to bend the camera a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. And I've washed this already. And the other thing too that I noticed with begonias, since they're so sensitive to the minerals in like tap water or city water, you want to use distilled water for this. So when you're cleaning any of the like the drainage layer, or you're spraying down your whatever begonia, whatever you want to put into your terrarium, make sure you're using distilled water or RO water, reverse osmosis water. Try not to use tap water because you'll get those crispy ends, and that the begonias are very sensitive. So anyway, I'm just going to put a small pinch at the very, very bottom of this. Just push it around a little bit. This is kind of like at an angle too, so I don't want to put too much of the drainage layer on there, because it'll take up the room that I need to place the begonia. So I just want to put a little bit. But as you can see, the lava rocks are in the crevice of here, so that's a good thing. All right, so then you don't want to just go ahead and put the substrate on top of that, because bad things can happen. So you want to put something like a mesh, and I've used this very simple window screen mesh. You can get very cheap. I think I paid $5 for it. I got it from Amazon. I get a lot of things from Amazon, but you just cut it to size. It's okay if you cut a little bit bigger, so It's going to prevent any of the substrate, which is sometimes fine, because substrate can be very fine, like, soil can be fine. So it's not going to penetrate, completely deep into and past not the substrate, the drainage barrier, sorry. So you're going to just put it in there, okay? And here, as you can see here, this is the other one. I have leca in this one, and I actually have a mesh in here, and the roots have grown a little bit past that. But let's say if I had a pool of water here, like it would be okay, because those leca balls would absorb some of that water, and it wouldn't be like soaking wet. So it's always good to put some type of drainage layer at the bottom, okay? So yeah, I put that mesh in there nicely, which is awesome, and I'm all set with that. And yeah, I definitely have to put some type of tape or something just to reinforce it so it doesn't tip over, because I want to save my $12 investment. I don't want to break it. So let's not put that in the air. But yeah, so I want to make sure that I have it in there. Did I put anywhere? Okay, that's in there. Perfect. Okay, great. Okay. All right, now I'm going to show you some of the other things that I use for the substrate. So you want to get, first off, the cocoa core, and you can get these cocoa core bricks. You can get these on Amazon. It's a hard brick, and what you want to do is you want to get a container and just put a little bit of water in it, and this brick will expand and it'll start to suck up the water, and then the substrate will turn into, I'll show you what that looks like, the core. It's not soil, it's cocoa core. It's very fine, but it once it gets wet, it's very like airy and very soft. And I guess, terrariums, they're ideal for terrariums. They can stay moist. They don't, grow a whole bunch of mold. And what I've noticed, I actually looked online, and they use something similar to this for like reptile terrariums, or not terrariums, or reptile aquariums, not aquariums, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. Just to make the reptiles kind of comfortable, they put this type of substrate in there. So you want to use that. Got a lot of stuff going around here. So. I don't want to make a huge mess. And then you also want to get orchid bark. And this is one of my favorite potting mixes. It's called Better Grow. But it does have like charcoal in it. It does have perlite in it, which you don't need perlite for this setup. But I like how their bark, it just is so nice, and I think it's actually treated. Is it organic? But it's so nice, chunky. It's very red, and they come in really good sizes, and I really appreciate this type of orchid bark. So you want to use some of the orchid bark. So 1 part of the cocoa core, 1 part of the orchid bark, not the entire mix. And you can actually go on Amazon just to get the orchid bark itself. And then you want to use about 1 part of charcoal. And this is the brand that I use, and I'll just give you a look at what the charcoal looks like. So just 1 part of it. And I just use a simple scooper, like a whole scoop would be 1 part. 2 parts would be 2 scoops, like that type of thing. It's closed. And then premium worm castings. This is, I guess, something to kind of give the substrate some type of nutrients to it as well. So let's see. So you want to use about 1 part of that, and I'll give you I'll just scoop it out so you can see what it looks like. I'm not gonna put it into the container just yet. So, but this is what it looks like. It's very fine. It looks like soil, but it's not. It's like almost like little pebbles, or it looks like, it looks like pepper, but it just doesn't give you the sneeze. So yeah, so you want to put it all into that. And also, forgot about that. Very important. you want to use long fiber sphagnum moss, which you can get very inexpensive. And you can also use orchid sphagnum moss. You can get that from a big box shop, but this has been sitting, it's wet, and I put it into the container already that I'm going to use for the substrate mix. Yeah. So I did that, and I put that all into this container here. So, like I said, one part of the cocoa core, one part of the orchid bark, one part of the charcoal, and one part of the worm castings, and 2 parts of sphagnum moss. Forgot about that. Yep. So then you just basically just mix it all in there. Use your hands, get in there. Being a plant parent, you get dirty. It just happens. You get dirty. So you just want to mix it all in there. There you go. I'm probably not going to use all of this because this vessel, this container is relatively small. It's not huge. So yeah, once it looks like that, you should be good to go. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to take the substrate that I've mixed together, and I'm going to place it into the container at the top. And let me get my scooper. Let me just actually angle this so you can see it a little bit better. So I'll take this and just stuff it in there. Woo-hoo. A little bit of a mess. It's okay though. Just a nice even layer of it should be just fine, right? Okay. I don't think you want to put too much because these are, I got to choose which one I want to put in there. So I got these little begonias, and they're Rex begonias. They're great for terrariums. And I got it from a nursery in northern Jersey. Sometimes during the summer months, you could find begonias this small, like Rex begonias. They do have some other variety. I just went to a big box and I saw other variety there, but I didn't see these particular ones. These are called, common name is there, it doesn't say it on here though, it just says Begonia compact. But I looked it up. These are the tiger paw begonias, and they stay relatively small. And this one here, this one I've had for a year. This one here, this variety, and it's actually that's the same type of variety here. And when you look it up, it does say tiger paw variety begonia, and they stay relatively small. They don't get too big, but they do like multiply, which is awesome. So I think I'm going to put this one in here. I think this one's a bit too much. It's going to hit the top of the terrarium relatively quickly, but I think this one will do just fine. So now I put the substrate into the container, so I'm just going to push it down a little bit as I can, as much as I can. Make it all nice. And I think should I put a little, maybe spray a little bit of water here. Spray a little distilled water in there just to moisten it up. Get it all ready. Okay. Now I'm going to create a little bit of a hole there. Wait, I don't think it's deep enough. Oh no, I don't think it's deep enough. Maybe a little bit more, because that's right at the, let's put some more in there. So I'm gonna take it out. Look at those roots, they look great, right? And I'm just gonna plop it down in there if I can get it in there. Move some of this out the way. Hope you guys can see. Don't have the best angle here, but I'm gonna try to move some of that and then just plop it down. Okay. Hmm. She was a little bit, I might have to put a little bit more substrate in it than I thought. Oh no. Hmm. I might have to take some of the substrate out because it's hitting the top of this. So give me a moment. All right, I'm back. I had to make some modifications. So, you know that substrate layer or the drainage layer? I had to take some of the lava rocks out and just put it at the very corners of it. If you can see the lava rocks here, instead of making an even like 1 inch, because this terrarium is very small. So even though the begonia is small, it was still like busting out at the top, which is okay. I mean, you can still have an open terrarium, but I wanted to have this closed terrarium because obviously I want to put the lid on it to kind of keep the humidity in here. But it's at the very top, which is okay. I mean, I could cut it back, but yeah. So I had to like, shimmy it in there and, make sure it was in there and kind of pack it in there. And now I do want to add some cushion moss to it. And you don't have to add cushion moss to it. I just happen to have some kind of leftover. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take a section of it using these terrarium tweezers. And I'm going to ever so carefully kind of place it and maneuver it in there. There's no science to it. I'm just trying to like place it where I think it should go. Please don't fall, please don't drop. So if you can see that, it kind of looks like its own little like, I don't know, scape or whatever, like landscape. And if you have some small like some little slate rocks, and you could find them outside, you can kind of place them to kind of make it very like, terrain looking. But this is just a piece of orchid bark. That's it. It looks like a rock, but it's an orchid bark. But so yeah, I'm just gonna place it along the areas here. No rhyme or reason. There's no science to it, but it's just what I'm feeling where I need where I would like to place the cushion moss. That's it. And cushion moss and any type of moss that you get, they're really clever. They know how to like latch on and kind of like anchor in to the terrarium. Very simply, you just have to just find a spot for it and just put it there. That's it. I'm gonna place it. Oh gosh. I didn't realize how tiny this terrarium container actually is, but hey, it's working. It's just so yeah, I'm just gonna place this where I need to place it. As if you can see it a little bit closer here. Isn't it wonderful? It's nice and tight in there. And it's okay if it's tight, The plants it's smart. It'll figure it out. I'm just gonna press it down just a bit. Some cushion moss in that little section. There you go. There you go. And you'll see the cushion moss, it'll kind of grow as it matures. It'll kind of grow along the glass, like kind of like this. And it gives it a different type of look and feel. It really looks like it's nice and established, which is great. Put some here that's kind of bold over here. I'm trying to place it in good spots here. There we go. And then put a little bit there, right? Try not to damage any of these leaves. Okay. I think that's the end of my cushion moss, just about, right? And you can get cushion moss from outside as well. I actually purchased this from an Etsy shop. Um, and I've had really good experiences with purchasing moss from this particular vendor. So, I mean, it's pretty good. But yeah, you can pick it outside, but just make sure it doesn't have bugs. And it's, free of all types of other debris. Sometimes it has like twigs in it. And, come to think of it, this begonia, this terrarium here with the begonia, I got some isopods from outside and I brought them in here, which isopods are fine. They clean up, any dead debris. But I might have gotten a snail, and I have to do my research a little bit because I saw a little tiny snail in here, and I'm like, oh, where did snail come from? It might have came from that isopod that I got, and I didn't know. And I'm, pretty new to this whole plant journey, and I'm like, oh, cute little snail. But I think the snail might have damaged the actual begonia because it immediately started to like just die, and it was like full. It was beautiful, and I think that snail might have had something to do with the dying begonia in here. I'm almost certain of it, but yeah, I have it in here. I'm just gonna fiddle with it just a little bit more. But that's pretty much it, guys. It's this is what the finished product, the Begonia Terrarium, looks like. I'm gonna spritz it down with a little bit of distilled water, and I'm gonna put it in a safe space. And that's basically it. So, but again, thank you so much for joining. I'll have more like little tutorials like this in the future. I might have another remix of the Begonia Terrarium set up. I may change my mind, do something totally different. Who knows? But again, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. And it does help me out immensely if you do that. Until next time, see you later.